All right, so we got some really interesting results here in the California 25 special election. Now, this is a special election because recall that Katie Hill had resigned from the seat after that whole scandal had broke out or whatever. So there's a special election to fill the seat now. That person will hold the seat until November, in which there will be another election. Now, I'm not sure if the same two people are going to be running again. I don't know how that works, to be honest with you. I really don't. But I'm sure we'll find out. But Christy Smith has now conceded this election, losing to Mike Garcia, the Republican in the race, handily, by the way. The numbers right now that we have, and I think there might be some outstanding ballots, although I'm not even sure if there are any, but I don't, it's confusing. But listen, there's no chance that Christy Smith is going to overcome this deficit. She's already conceded to losing. We already know she lost. And if these are the final numbers, which it says 100% reporting, that's not even close. That's not even like, wow, you're really in striking distance. Like, you're losing by more than Jessica. You're losing more than by, Jessica Cisneros and all these candidates, like, combined. That's like a destruction, dude. It's not a destruction, but come on now. You're losing by 12 points. Like, that's not even within double digits at this point. You're, like, literally in double digits. So a lot of people are pointing out that Katie Hill, who was the last Democrat to win this district, and if you don't know about this district, let me explain to you. I think there's only been one Democrat since 1993 who has held California 25, and that was Katie Hill for that short bit of time until she had to resign. So she was the first Democrat since 93 to hold this district. So that tells you how red this district is. But I guess Katie Hill had ran on Medicare for All and progressive issues like that, and she had actually won the district. Now, Christy Smith, as you guys know, was not running on Medicare for All, was not running on any progressive positions. Christy Smith basically ran her campaign as kind of like, I'm the centrist, I want to expand and work on Obamacare. It's pretty much the same, pretty much a carbon copy of Hillary Clinton was what Christy Smith was. Not only do they look very similar, but literally their campaigns were virtually the same. All Christy Smith did was just call up big dollar donors all day. That's pretty much all she did. She literally did nothing. And the Roni basically made it so you couldn't really campaign and stuff like that. But if you're wondering why she lost in terms of number breakdown, I'll tell you why. The youth voter turnout was garbage. It was like 20% didn't send in their ballots or something like that. The difference between the old and the young in terms of voter turnout was massive. It was totally massive. So as you can see, youth voter turnout, not very exciting when you have a boring white woman. And even though Katie Hill was also, a white woman, she didn't seem as boring for some reason. I don't know why. If you put like a picture of Christy Smith and then you put a picture of Katie Hill, like, you automatically be like, okay, Katie Hill at least looks somewhat interesting. Christy Smith is the most boring human being to ever exist on the entire planet. Why you would go with that candidate to win an election, I don't know. I really don't. But not only was the youth voter turnout garbage, but the Latino vote turnout was garbage too. And I think that the Latino vote's going to be a massive problem. This is what I think is going to happen in the general election. I think the Latino vote is totally going to turn away from the Democrats. They already turned away to an extent against Hillary Clinton. Oh man, when they chose Bernie Sanders over Joe Biden, and they hate Joe Biden because Joe Biden was part of the administration that had those insane deportation numbers. Dude, they're going to strike back. I think older Latinos probably will straight up vote for Trump. I think some of them will. And then I think the young Latinos will be like, I'm not taking part in this garbage. I'm not going to vote for Joe Biden. So I think they're in for a crude awakening when it comes to the Latino vote because they simply don't like him. So what Joe Biden is basically banking on right now is the senior vote. That's really his only chance. And the senior vote's looking good for Biden right now. Let's see if that can last until November. But I think the Latino vote's going to be a pretty crude awakening. So now it goes to November. I'm not sure what that means in terms of are they the same two candidates? I'm not exactly sure. But assuming it is, the Democrats are just going to lose again, I think, anyway. I don't really see. And Trump's endorsement of Mike Garcia was really helpful for Mike Garcia. Looks like that really got the base out. So that was looked at as a liability from Democrats when it turned out, oh, no, that was actually really helpful for the Republicans and Mike Garcia. But I don't think Christy Smith can win. I'm not going to be 100% sure on that just because you never know. Maybe a blue wave or whatever. I just don't see it happening. I think Christy Smith is an extraordinarily weak candidate who faced no challenge in the Democratic primary. She was anointed by the Democratic Party. She refused to do any debates with Cenk Uygur. She's a clown, okay, and she deserved to lose. She really did. And I was actually hoping Christy Smith would win, just because I understand how districts work, and I understand how a district is, gets picked by just, a very specific subset of people. So I understand that not every district can have a Bernie Sanders in it, but even then, it's like it feels good to watch her lose, because it's like, watching a centrist who is so soulless during the Democratic primary, I think it's a pretty massive, just hilariousness. But also, I should say with the whole, Christy Smith thing, is this can definitely be used as a grandeur narrative here, because Katie Hill was a progressive. Well, she ran on issues like Medicare for All. Christy Smith did not. So now you can sort of take this as part of your grandeur narrative if you want to say that, moderates are not good at taking purple districts or purple seats, and that progressives have a better chance. So I guess that's another upside you could look at if you're a progressive. But yeah, it looks like Cenk Uygur's former opponent, Christy Smith, losing handily to Republican Mike Garcia in California 25.